What's going on, creators? Yeah, just want to get on here and bring everybody back to now. Appreciate you being here and vibing with me for a bit. Yeah, today I'd like to talk a little bit about really embracing what is, and with that, starting to make the present moment more and more fun, more and more peaceful, more and more at ease, versus, getting in the mind, worrying and fear about, situations that haven't occurred yet, or looking at the past and just carrying this baggage into the present moment with shit that you can't even change anymore. And more than likely, it's not even who you are anyway. So letting go of a lot of these things are really a key aspect of really being at peace now, being feeling that embodiment of you made it, whatever that is. So many times everybody's got this different vision for maybe what they see themselves as, and one of the biggest stumbling blocks I found, with like the law of attraction, or even like manifesting, the law of assumption with Neville Goddard, is really not being okay with where you're at right now, and always projecting, once I win the lottery, then I can be happy. Oh, once I have an amazing business, then I can be happy. It's that same kind of cyclical pattern, of like chasing your tail, basically, spinning around the hamster wheel in a different form, where the old man, you used to just wrestle shit to the ground, and through physical manipulation, and it's like, I'm just going to outwork this, through my own effort and through my own energy, I'm just going to make it happen. And yeah, you can do shit like that, and not to say you can't, but as someone who's experienced that route, there's an easier way that doesn't involve constantly grinding and suffering. It's like with my business, I just share this with you guys. It's like the past couple updates, it was like looking for employees and looking for help, and I stacked all these jobs, which I got all the jobs done. And the funny thing is, now I have like too much, interest, where I basically told a guy, I'd hire him, younger guy, but, at the same time, ambitious. He was like entrepreneurial in the sense that, he's been mowing yards since he's been young, and he's still young. I mean, he's not, and so, but I like that kind of character, and, I think it would work out really well. But, now, come to find out, my stepdaughter's boyfriend, which is the father of my granddaughter, lost his job. And, so to me, it was like, okay, well, you can work for me instead. Well, now his roommate or whatever, he also needs a job. So I basically had three guys that, two of which, the one he lives with hasn't even filled out the application, but he's ready to go on Monday. Both of these guys are on Monday, but like, I just trying to touch base with them this morning. I kind of forgot, my stepdaughter's boyfriend or whatever, I forgot he had stuff to do today. I was texting him. I was like, almost getting irritated. It's like, why don't you answer my fucking phone calls? And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. That he's doing something with the my granddaughter, and so letting that go. But now really looking at things is like, okay, well, I have three guys now that can start doing jobs, and where my problem a week or two ago was not having any help. Now it's like, okay, now I have an abundant amount of help. Now starting to feel some some fear of like, oh shit, it's like, am I gonna have to tell the one, that how am I gonna pay for all these people? Because like now all of a sudden you're stacking a payroll that's oh, let's do the math, probably like $1,600-$1,700 a week in just paying these guys. And so I got to obviously at least double that, to try to make a business work, and so so it's new dramas and new experiences, unknown. This is all venturing into the unknown. I've never done this before, and so but I've also never done chickens, and now we got like 6 or 7 chickens that now have feathers. I gotta this weekend really put some effort and energy into creating a chicken coop and a place to put these birds, because they're starting to outgrow their habitat upstairs. And so we'll see how that plays out, but then So now I don't know what the next move is, other than what's presenting itself today. What can we do today? Um, yeah, and really starting to move in that direction. And so, with that, embodying kind of that, yeah, you made it. It's like, I want to be a person that doesn't get overwhelmed by things like this. And so I'm just going to, step into that. Any of these fears are really actually somewhat helpful in showing you areas where it's almost like in lifting weights. It's like, oh, you don't skip leg day. But then it's like you get these fears that present themselves in the present moment, and it's like, oh, well, if that wasn't there, then I can grow more. And so, but not looking at yourself or myself as some broken toy that needs fixed. Getting more and more into the flow of the journey and the destination becoming one thing, and to enjoy that flow of life that is always unfolding in the present moment, more and more so, more and more trusting that, everything's going good. I don't need to keep sitting here in want. It's like, oh, if, things were just different, if I had more shit to move around and more responsibilities and more added complexities, then I'll feel like a certain way. Getting out of this Newtonian way of really ass backwards way of like, oh, if I'm going to acquire all this material shadow symbols, when the reality is you embody the state first, and then things start to come together in a miraculous way. As you're persisting in that identity, as that you've already made it. You're already abundant. You're already prosperous. Your dreams are already unfolding perfectly. Everything's happening perfectly. You don't got to sit here and micromanage and try to control and manipulate. You're letting infinite intelligence bring it to you in like the easiest, most flowful way of good for you, good for your creation. Like divine harmony is maybe a way to describe that. As everything's working out for the good. Everything is going in the way that expands the most love. Keeping that kind of faith, that that mindset and that belief is really important, and not sitting here and going, oh, well, I wish I could feel a little bit happier. Really just what because and I've been guilty of like, oh, the ego and shit like that. But battling things strengthens it. And so the more that you make a big deal, it's like the news. There's like a while I had to completely unplug from years. I've unplugged from when Obama was president. I didn't even know that we were in wars and shit. Because I just was like so unplugged from, because it's like, I don't want that. So it's like, what can I do about it other than to voice, I don't want my country going to war, and I don't want to pay for shit like this with my taxes, because that's not what I'm into. Violence and death and destruction. I'm more into love and peace and harmony, and working to create more heavenly environments here on earth now. And so and creating systems that promote love and value that and this is all kind of changing directions, but like moving in like kind of going forward, not to be triggered by what the next hoax on TV is, and the next thing that society will say is a big deal, but ultimately is a distraction from enjoying your life. Oh, what's going on 500 miles away in a city that I've never been to and never planned to go to? Who cares? That's their problem, not my problem. My problem is what's going on in my town. And at the moment, really just growing what kind of value can we do. And so with that, it's like not trying to change things though either, just being it's really getting more into that vibe of looking into the mirror. It's like you don't change your reflection by yelling at the mirror. It's like you make the change first. It's like my hair's like sticking up here, I'm just gonna stare at the mirror till the hair changes. It's like, or you make the change first and brush it. It's like, seeing things outside, especially patterns that are repeating. Nothing's random and nothing's a coincidence. And so, to make the change, you change the way you're looking at it. You change your inner state. If you're seeing a bunch of victim mentality, presenting itself on the screen of space, as you stop embodying a victim, you'll see less and less than that, and you'll see more and more empowerment. As you become more and more empowered, you'll start to see that reflection playing out in people, circumstances, events, but don't expect it to. I'm just going to sit here and wait till the present moment conforms to my ideal. Learn to love the present moment. Learn to find something to be, and this is sometimes difficult, especially if you're triggered. Maybe your wife or whoever, somebody close to you is just being really difficult to be around, or just really opening up an old wound that really has nothing to do with them, but is reminding you of something that maybe pissed you off in the past, and now they're embodying a state that's just really just driving you crazy. Try to either disconnect from it, use it as a learning thing, but don't sit there and dwell on it, because as you start focusing on whatever this person is doing that's pissing you off, it's going to start to grow. And so and that includes all aspects. Getting more into more wholeness involves I'm already happy with the way my life's going. It's already better than what I ever thought was possible, and it continues to get better and better. It continues to grow, and that starts by choosing that now, and embodying that you've already made it. And it's not the fake it till you make it, but almost, it kind of is. But you can't really fake being good at something. You actually gotta be good at something, or at least embrace where you're at and continue to develop it more and more. The more love that you put into things is always the kind of the remedy. How much attention you're putting on it, how much you care about it, and you can translate that to many different areas. Not everything is about what your body's doing. Because I've had that in the past where it's like, I can only feel happy if I'm doing fill in the blank. But through my handyman business, and sometimes I get into like physically draining and tiring situations. I had to bust this. I can show you guys this last little project. It was a bitch to do. I thought it was going to be a lot easier. And I'd still call it a win. Because because it turned out good, and so let me see that this deck, that area in front where there's no grass, the deck used to be straight, and they wanted it turned this way. And so I turned the deck to like an angle, and oops, I showed the same picture. And so I made it an angled deck instead of straight, and I just reused a bunch of all the material to do it, because wood right now in my area is like stupidly expensive, and like and so it took a lot more time. That whole job took a lot more time than I expected, because like I had to change out some doorknobs and put some deadbolts on, and these doors were like old school doors. I mean, they were like the stuff that was in them. If you're familiar, like the old skeleton key types of locking systems, where there's this metal square box that they chiseled a hole in the door, and you stick it in the door, and then the handle and everything goes through that box. That was kind of what I was dealing with, and so none of the stuff lined up, and none of it was the kind of the same as like what the new specs are and stuff. So it took a lot longer than I thought, but everything turned out. The money end of it, I didn't make hardly what I thought, but live and learn, and go on to the next one. And so my biggest priority is making sure that jobs are done, quality wise, they're the customer's happy with it, but the thing with that job is it might lead to flipping that whole property, because the people that live in there are elderly. And so I was like actually dealing more and more so with like the family, and I'm actually kind of related to them. So it was kind of another kind of weird situation where I just like didn't, I want to give them a deal, and stuff like that, because they're related to me. And that's what is kind of challenging, working for family, and at the same time, here I am, hiring family, and trying to do this handyman business with mostly just my family, which is difficult. I don't know if it's more difficult than working with strangers, because I feel like part of like why this flow is happening the way it is because I can be kind of critical. I don't want to say critical, but it's like I just want it to look good when it's done, and so it's like, oh, here's a specific way, and I had a boss that, on some level, I learned a lot from him, because he grew a big business, and, I learned a lot about, working with a team, through, this guy, and, I kind of, he uses a lot of like his profits to help others, and, he gives incentives to, do community service and stuff like that. And so I really want to model a lot of that with my business to really, give something back to the community. And, at the same time, he did some things, with perfectionism, which I, probably reflect a lot of what I do too, where it's just like, just micro, I don't want to say judging, but, it's just like, really just staring at shit too much, and it's like, well, what about that tiny little thing? It could be like 99% perfect, but then it's like, what about that little thing right there? And it can rub people the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way when he was doing that shit to me. And it was like, oh, you're like never satisfied with nothing I do. Do you even, am I even doing a good job? and so, trying to not do that myself, because I knew how it made me feel. I tried to be a little bit more understanding, more caring, I guess, and less, drill sergeanty, like, oh, just get this shit done, do this, I'll be back. I don't know. We'll see. Just trying to let go of the, and part of like why that's even presenting itself is because of, maybe nervousness of like, I don't know why, at the moment. It just is. But like, even looking at shit like that, it's like, I don't necessarily need to change it unless it keeps causing unconscious patterns that I just don't enjoy. And that's something I don't enjoy, because I don't like holding that tightly. More and more into a vibe of just trusting, that every situation's happening because, it's leading to some awakening process, to leading to more love. It's all working together for the good. And now it's like, okay, well, now I really have about 3 guys I could put to work, which is enough guys I could flip that property, fast. And if I can do that, then I can pay for them, and I can start, as they're working, start lining stuff up for them to do. It's part of this flow that's new for me, is being able to get somebody, and then be able to provide the jobs that they're good at doing. And so I don't know if maybe I'm doing that backwards. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, because not everybody can do everything right off the bat, and it's like, I don't got a problem training people, how to do things, but at the other end of it, I would prefer, if I can get somebody just power washing. I have a power washer that's sitting there not making money, and so it's like, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to do that, as compared to, like wiring some electrical thing. Where I can charge, however much. I know how much I'm going to pay this person. I can run a sale and just get them working and just get money flowing to them without me having to now, I got to plot and scheme things. I just want to try to keep them busy, keep them making money, and, ultimately, we'll see what happens with that. But, not trying to sit here and just like constantly battle the present moment. Really getting more and more to accept it, and not just accept it, but like, just be excited about what's unfolding, instead of like, oh, there's something new and scary, I'm going to just react out of fear, and I'm going to suffer because of it. Letting that shit go, it's like, no, I'm just going to take what comes. And even doing that deck, I started, I didn't know how I was going to do it, until I just started. What can I do now? What can I do now? Can I do anything? Okay, yeah, I need to do something, because I got to get this done. And yeah, I ended up, I don't know, it's kind of healed already, but it's like that big blister, because there's a sidewalk that I had to bust out, and I was like, oh, I'll just get a sledgehammer and I'll just bust this out. Yeah, that was a bitch. And, I ended up renting a jackhammer, so I ended up wasting like, a little bit of money on the sledgehammer, and then, then I had to get a jackhammer or whatever, and just rented it. And so on to the next thing. But yeah, and so that's kind of a little update, so it goes from, oh, there's a labor shortage, to now all of a sudden, oh, I got kind of a crew that if I don't chicken out, and that's how it kind of is presenting itself, and it'll keep happening. It'll keep happening over and over because I'm going to keep trying to grow. But then I face this fear of like, oh shit, now I got people to take care of. Now I got payroll to try. I got to hit this payroll. I got to not only hit it, but then I got to make money too. I got shit to pay for. I got a cafe to finance and everything else, and not to mention bills and food and chickens. I got responsibilities. And family to take care of, and and so if I don't chicken out, start worrying, and keep it, okay, what can I do now? How can I stay at peace? The biggest thing is not to get triggered and drift into unconsciousness because all of this new stuff. Staying mindful, staying in a state of feeling good, being at peace at least, where the Course of Miracles is like always keeping that goal of like inner peace despite what's going on. I feel like is a good direction to follow. It's like I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. Got a bunch of shit going on, a bunch of new things, potentially risky things or whatever. It's okay. I'm going to hold this peace. I'm going to trust that, God orchestrated the people that are now involved. God orchestrated the jobs. I just got to show up, put love into it the best I can. Try to, just, inject love. That's about the only thing you can do. And continue to grow in that, and not to start to get to reactive, and not to start to get to fear mode, and then shut down mode, and then overwhelmment, and all these things that can get you feeling stuck. But embracing the new situation, embracing this new adventure, and really embodying that. Once you embody what you're that end goal now, what is there to change? You're starting to see the reflection. But it's like, maybe if you're really overweight or something, or, and not to sit there and judge any, but I don't like to be overweight, and so partly because my legs, if I start getting too heavy, then I start getting pain, from the added weight, and so that's an easy way for me to kind of like, I need to start doing something. I'm starting to get achy, But like, when you first start working out or exercising and stuff, it's like, oh, you have this like period where it's like, I don't know if it's working. I gained some weight somehow. I've been exercising and dieting. Diet and exercise is like the obvious way, the easiest. It's like, I don't know why there's so much a debate on how do you lose weight. It's like, it's easy. You exercise and you eat to match. I mean, it's just whatever. But like, I'm not even gonna get on that tangent. But like, it's like, okay, well, embody that ideal weight now, and then it's like you go through this series of events, and it's like a bunch of mental obstacles that might come up of I haven't really struggled with that too much, but you have like these patterns that might come up, and who knows why you're doing these things, but it's like you eventually get to a point where you hit your ideal weight, but once you do, then it's like, then you just embody that. It's like, I don't need to keep changing it. It's like, I just am this, embody that state now. I guess is maybe how I'm trying to stammer through this, but embody that you made it. And then as you do, less and less things become, I feel uncomfortable in the present moment. I need this to change. Feel whole and complete now. And keep growing in that more and more. It's really important to embody that now, and look at that old you as being unwhole, incomplete, disconnected. But starting to focus on that inner walk, that spiritual journey, that walk of faith, and embody the life, the creation that God created you to live, and that's between you and God. What that is, it's different for everybody. We're all unique, and embracing that uniqueness, just get to it, and maybe it's like the Conversations with God books by Neil Donald Walsh would say, it's like fully accept yourself for who you are right now, and start to love yourself. Start injecting some love into yourself, into your own being, to your own state of consciousness, and realize God loves you. You don't have to, yeah, I don't even need to get into this rabbit hole, but like, I got to balance, it's, I got some things to do, but yeah, I just want to do a quick little update, share some thoughts, and put this out into the, whoever's want to hear it or whatever. And so, thanks everybody for listening. Have a good rest of your now, and God bless.